Time is precious. The world revolves around it, as do the financial markets. When it comes to trading Forex, the largest market in the world, even a millisecond makes a difference. At FXTM, we work around the clock to provide you with effective trading services. Whether you're a small or big investor, access all financial markets through our advanced mobile, desktop and web trading platforms. Experience the smoothest trading thanks to our innovative technology and trading conditions. Take advantage of one of the fastest execution times in the industry. Save time with quick and simple deposits and withdrawals. We are a regulated, trusted broker, so you don't have to waste any time worrying about the safety of your funds. Our multilingual team is always on call to help you. And our experts bring trader education to the next level. Knowledge is power. So the more you learn, the faster you can reach financial freedom. At FXTM, we take the time to focus on you so that you'll have time and money to spend on what matters to you most. Time is money. Invested wisely.
You write in the book, there is no faith and no courage and no sacrifice in doing what is expedient. What do you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something meaningful?
Well, the first thing I would say is, well, you should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. You're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah, and if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years, you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
But isn't it a luxury to pursue what is meaningful? Our viewers have mortgages, they have children, they have payments and loans. It's a luxury to pursue because we lack the resources.
Well, I don't remember now, I'm not talking about what makes you happy. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It might require sacrifice. If you need to change your job too, let's say you have a family and children and a mortgage, you have responsibilities. You've already picked up those responsibilities. You don't just get to walk away scot-free and say, well, I don't like my job, I quit. That's no strategy. But what you might have to do is you think, well, this job is killing my soul. All right, so what do I have to do about that? Well, I have to look for another job. Well, no one wants to hire me. It's like, okay, maybe you need to educate yourself more. Maybe you need to update your curriculum vitae, your resume. Maybe you need to overcome your fear of being interviewed. Maybe you need to sharpen your social skills. Like, you have to think about these things strategically. If you're going to switch careers, you have to do it like an intelligent, responsible person. That might take you a couple of years of effort to do properly. We're built for struggle, us human beings. We're built to contend with the world. We're built to contend with reality. You want a challenge, and the best way that you can take on a challenge, because a challenge fortifies you. So you don't want to be secure, you want to be strong. And you get strong by taking on optimal challenges. And so you lay out your destiny in the world, and you take the slings and arrows of fate. And you make yourself stronger while you're doing so. And you might fail, and fortune might do you in. But it's your best bet. And, you know, people have extracted unbelievable successes out of catastrophic failures. And I'm not saying that in a naive way. I know perfectly well what happens to people. You know, you're doing fine in life and then you get cancer. And then 6 months later, you're dead. And all the heroism in the world isn't going to save you at that point. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Life is bounded by mortality. But that doesn't mean that you don't get out there and contend and you develop by contending, and you minimize the net amount of suffering in the world. And that's something, man. That's something to do.
Time is precious. The world revolves around it, as do the financial markets. When it comes to trading Forex, the largest market in the world, even a millisecond makes a difference. At FXTM, we work around the clock to provide you with effective trading services. Whether you're a small or big investor, access all financial markets through our advanced mobile, desktop and web trading platforms. Experience the smoothest trading thanks to our innovative technology and trading conditions. Take advantage of one of the fastest execution times in the industry. Save time with quick and simple deposits and withdrawals. We are a regulated, trusted broker, so you don't have to waste any time worrying about the safety of your funds. Our multilingual team is always on call to help you. And our experts bring trader education to the next level. Knowledge is power. So the more you learn, the faster you can reach financial freedom. At FXTM, we take the time to focus on you so that you'll have time and money to spend on what matters to you most. Time is money. Invest it wisely.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Stock Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually the famous Wall Street Bet group that is currently on Reddit. Look, this guy's riddled the stock market last week, and it looks like the story is actually continuing this week with silver. I saw silver earlier today was up by 8% just for today, and actually quite a wild move, I must say. Even this morning it was up by 4%, but I see another one is also moving quite in a nice direction, and that is platinum. And but the whole story for me, as I was also listening to and reading some stuff on the Wall Street group, the Wall Street Bets group that is on Reddit, and also the Robinhood, and people are blaming Robinhood, and Robinhood is a platform. And also they said like Robinhood is manipulating the whole story. But my main issue is actually the Wall Street Bet group and the rebellion that is actually on against the big hedge fund managers. And I must say I'm very interested because I wanted to know why we have this rebellion on the market, on the financial markets of all things. And so I understand about the GameStop story, where a lot of these big hedge fund companies were selling actually GameStop, and then the rebellion came in, or I would say the Wall Street Bets came in, and then they bought the stock and drove the stock actually up. Look, at one point the stock was at $2, I think $2.57, and then they drove the stock up to nearly $500. So you can imagine the amount of profits those guys make and the amount of losses that the big hedge fund managers actually made. And there was one bank that actually got so much damage, I think it's Melvin, that they needed to get a bailout. I mean, 170 billion these guys lost, the hedge fund managers. And I must say that was a good victory actually for the Wall Street Bets guys. Look, a lot of people profit out of this. And but the main thing is that for a lot of people, it's a bit scary. So people are out of the stock market. For some people, they are in for it. Now, according to what I picked up, the Wall Street Bet Group is about 7 million traders that are on there, and this is our online traders. Now, the group actually grew quite substantially over the years. I would say actually in the pandemic, it actually grew quite largely, and it's your ordinary guys, people like you and I who are trading on the market, and these guys are now having a massive group. I mean, of 7.7 million people, and that's why you can see the behaviors of what they did with GameStop. They literally destroyed the hedge fund managers, and now it is all-out war. It's totally all-out war. Now, just a reminder, silver is actually now up by 9%, and it looks like this thing is not stopping. It's actually moving quite drastically. Now, last week, there was a lot of confusion in the market, especially with GameStop, and today that persisted. Even natural gas is up by 6% today, as I looked at now, but you have crude oils that are only up by a 0.36%, and also Brent at a 0.62%. But everybody, I will not say everybody, but a lot of people are now against these guys, which they say they're basically a rebellion. They're against the hedge fund managers, and I can see on the on media, the big media is actually saying that these guys are inexperienced. I must say, these guys are not inexperienced. Listen, if you read the information of what these guys are posting, and you read of their analysis that they put out, it's quite remarkable. These guys have been trading for very long now. Maybe the guys that are chipped in maybe last year during the pandemic just to make a quick buck, maybe they are beginners. But the guys who are doing the research and pointing and pushing out the research to convince people to follow their trades, those guys are absolutely spot on, and they are extremely good. And why they actually, the media and obviously the government now, or some government officials are saying that these guys are basically manipulating the market. Look, I find that very funny, that they pointing out that these guys are doing trading manipulation. Look, the Federal Reserve is being manipulating the market since 2009, 2008 recession. The market was supposed to collapse in 2009. No, but not on the Federal Reserve's watch. They came in and they bail out these bloody banks, and they basically bail out these banks, flood the market with money, which only the top 1% was gaining all this money. The guys that were trading that time were suffering extremely because they were on it to sell the market that was now in basically in 2009, 2008 recession, because the market was about to collapse. Look, there was a lot of people who came out and said there was manipulation of the central bank that came out to print money, trillions and trillions of money, throw it in banks, buy back mortgages and all of the tricks that they're doing, and then drove the stock market up. Gold price went up, oil prices went up, and everybody seems fine about it. But then you had a group of people that lost quite a lot of money because they were on it that the market will now totally collapse. And I think personally, these are the guys who are running that Wall Street Bets group. They are the guys who have been feeling all this manipulation for all these years. And look, as a trader myself who's been long into the market, I'm being squeezed myself on a lot of nonsense, especially news that come out of China, and especially news that come out of the United States. Not news, but some weird movements in the market, and then you're like, what the hell just happened? There's nothing that's going on, but the market is jumping all over the show. And then you just have to take the hit and move on. And people will say, you are crazy, you lost money, blah, blah, blah. But then you're starting to doubt yourself because you don't know what the hell is going on. But if you look at the market and if you look at your analysis, you are on the money, but you lose. So I think these guys are pissed off just like me, pissed off at these hedge fund managers and central banks and bankers that can just do whatever they like with the market and everybody must just keep quiet. And that is where they draw the line. You can't come in as a central bank every time try to save the economy where the economy is about to correct itself. And then you come in, push floods amount of money. Look, honestly, the central bank is actually the main manipulator of this whole entire industry, especially the Federal Reserve. Because how on earth, especially today, you have millions of people out of jobs. Companies are not making money. Airlines are not making money. Hotels and all of those things are not making money. People are out of work. But somehow, the stock market hit record highs for the futures of this economy. How on earth is that even possible? The market is totally out of touch of what the reality is. Totally. And then you think people will just take it on the chin. Now the people are unemployed. People are under lockdown. So now these guys came up and said, okay, fine. Now we're going to hit you hard, or where it really hits hard. And that is with the financial market. And that's why I say this is one of the most sophisticated revolts that I ever saw. Now, you can go back in history. I never saw something like this before. Like a short squeeze, what they have today, in which I will explain on silver. And I think silver is about to explode. According to these guys' research, and I must say, I do agree with that, but I will just come back to that story. But when it comes to the market today and the reality, it is definitely totally doesn't make sense. You have even the South African stock market that are at all-time highs. At all-time highs. We don't even have efficient electricity supply. The economy is still under lockdown level 3. People have lost their jobs. We're sitting at about, maybe there was one article that I was also reading over the weekend. We're sitting at about 50% unemployment. Who the hell benefit out of this? This is absolutely insane. In normal circumstances, you would say the market would collapse. But no, not here and not anywhere in the world. Somehow it's just going up. We all know the ANC has been messing up this economy for years now, decades. But somehow the stock market goes up. This is pure nonsense. Absolutely pure nonsense what is actually going on here. Now the story with silver, in simple context, in which I will explain. Like, I did a podcast, I'm just not sure which one, but I did a podcast about a few months back. I think it was during the pandemic. When I said, actually, the gold and silver are closely related to each other. So if the one goes up, the other one goes up as well. Like, if silver goes up, gold will go up, and obviously gold normally pulls silver. So gold goes up first, and then silver goes afterwards up. But during the pandemic, that didn't happen. So gold actually went up, and silver didn't go anywhere. In fact, gold actually was hitting all-time highs. Silver was drifting around here at $20 for an ounce, which doesn't make sense at all. And so these guys on Reddit were saying, listen here, this thing is a bit, is totally undervalued. Not a bit, totally undervalued. If gold is hitting at $1,800 or $2,000 and silver still sits flat here on $20, this is absolute nonsense. So which means we can drive silver up to about $75 a fine ounce. Now, these guys were so sophisticated, and I must say, especially when it comes to the silver stocks, these guys created such a euphoria that they actually put out a message, and they put it up in public. It's not that they're sitting behind a desk and just keep it for themselves. They put it online, where everybody's now running to buy silver. Look, in the United States, it's sold out, silver. Sold out. People can't find silver. Silver price is exploding. Now, there's a difference between the silver, physical silver, and paper silver. Paper silver, people have a lot of banks can still manipulate that. Excuse me. But on your physical silver, that's something else. And what they're doing is actually quite nice. Excuse me. And what they're doing is actually quite nice. They created this whole panic about silver. All right? That silver, I will not say they created this panic. I mean, it's common sense actually that silver is totally undervalued and it is a good buy. Now, the thing is, and I always been saying silver is a sleeping giant. Now, silver is supposed to be, as I said, it's supposed to be about $75 or even more, because obviously they run on gold. Now, silver has a lot of have a lot of means for production purposes. For one, it purifies water. It's also supposed to be in demand now with Joe Biden's Green Deal story, because a lot of silver is needed, especially in electric vehicles and also in solar panels. And the silver price didn't move at all. On the other side also, silver's production is not so high. It's not so high. There's still a lot of strains when it comes to silver production. So silver is not all over the show. It is not something that you can get anywhere. Although there is enough quantity of silver. No, I will not say enough now, because there's definitely not enough, because there's a shortage now. But silver miners, they need time to get to the silver. So that is what the Reddit guys knew. So they bought up all the silver, or the people are starting to buy up the silver, because obviously the price of silver is cheap. So now the physical demand is gone, and that actually reflecting now on the paper side of where you and I are basically on the market. So that's why the price of silver is going up so heavily. So they bought up all the silver. People, the people that are selling silver, the normal brokers, or the normal guy in a shop that sells silver, can't get silver, and which put the price of silver up. So that is how they get to futures. For example, you put the order in for silver. The guy that takes your order will say, listen here, the delivery will come in 2 weeks' time, because he needs to phone the Rand refinery, for example, to get the silver. Now, when he phones Rand refinery told him, hey buddy, look, there's also no silver yet. We still need to wait for the miners to get to silver. So because of that, the price of silver is going up quite drastically, because the silver is actually out. It's out. There's a heavy supply disruption when it comes to silver, and that pushed now the price of the paper S of silver also up. Now, for the media to say that these guys are not actually experienced, that is absolutely nonsense. When I was reading and listening to what these guys are explaining when it gets to silver, because I also picked up there's a disconnect between silver and gold, which is not supposed to be like that. Normally, in all instances, when silver goes up or gold goes up, the two of them goes together, but not this time around. And that's why they're hitting hard on silver. Now, according to Goldman Sachs, this is the most aggressive short squeeze in the last 25 years. They never saw something like this. These guys are buying up silver, and the bloody hedge fund managers are actually losing quite a lot of money for selling silver. And these guys are actually buying silver up left, right, and center. So it's all the hedge fund managers, especially JP Morgan. And look, these guys are going now against big giants. They're actually going now against JP Morgan. They go against Goldman Sachs. Basically all these guys that are hoarding silver, which is normally your big banks, because they are being manipulating these prices for long, including with the central bankers. I must say, this revolt has just started, and I will definitely keep you updated on this. But for today, I think when that US market is opening, silver and gold, silver and especially it looks for me, platinum is the one, and natural gas will still go further up. And it looks like these guys are well on par to reach $75. I'm not sure, but they said they need to get to $75, because if gold is sitting at $1,800, silver can't be sitting at $29 where it is now. So I must say, these guys' analysis, you can go read about on them when it comes to silver. They are on par, and they will definitely slaughter the hedge fund managers. I'm actually in favor of these guys, because these banks and central banks is been messing up the market for years now. For years. And it's time to get the market correct. I'm actually very excited for these guys, and I hope they still continue with their good work. But one thing for sure, these guys are not beginners. Definitely not. So that is it from my side. I will definitely update you guys again about the Wall Street bets and actually the financial uprise. Bye-bye.
The champ is here! The champ is here!